We build a shelter for our body, yet do we understand what we bring inside? A simple choice, a cold place, an act of preservation that might be an act of quiet disruption. This habit, practiced daily in millions of homes, could be sowing the seeds of profound imbalance. The final understanding we will reach together is not about food, but about life itself. Stay until the end to grasp it. Grounded energy. Let us begin by considering something very simple, very humble. The potato, a being that grows in darkness, in the cool, stable embrace of the earth. Its entire existence is a process of gathering and storing the energy of the soil. It is a dense, patient, and grounded form of life. It does not seek the sun, it seeks the quiet, consistent nourishment from below. This is its nature. It thrives not in extreme cold, nor in extreme heat, but in a state of cool, dark stillness, much like the cellar or the pantry where our ancestors would have kept it. This is the environment it understands. Now consider the device we call a refrigerator. It is not merely cool, it is a place of artificial, aggressive cold. It is an environment that is alien to the potato's nature. When we place this tuber, this storehouse of complex, slow-release energy, into such an environment, we are not preserving it, we are attacking it. The intense cold sends a shock through its structure. In its confusion, in its struggle to survive this unnatural state, the potato begins to convert its complex starches into simpler sugars. It is a desperate act of transformation, a defense mechanism against an environment it cannot comprehend. Outwardly, it may still look like a potato, but inwardly, its very essence has been altered. Its energy signature is no longer stable and grounded. It is now charged with a nervous, sugary energy it was never meant to hold. Then, what do? We take this altered potato and we apply high heat to it. We bake it, we fry it. This combination of the cold-induced sugar and the intense heat creates a new substance, a chemical byproduct that our bodies do not recognize. Scientists have given it a name, but the name is not what is important. What is important is the principle. We have taken something natural, disrupted its essence through an unnatural process, and then, through another process of intense energy, we have created a form of nourishment that carries a signature of stress and confusion. When we consume this, our body, in its wisdom, does not know how to welcome it. It becomes a source of internal conflict, a subtle poison. The body must then expend its own precious energy to fight, to neutralize, to expel this confusing input. Over time, repeated over years and decades, this internal battle, this inflammation, can create a foundation for profound disharmony and disease. It is a simple lesson. To preserve the health of our own body, we must first learn to respect the nature of the things we invite into it. Sun's warmth. Now let us turn our attention to the tomato. If the potato is a child of the dark earth, the tomato is a child of the sun. It is a vessel of light, warmth, and vibrant, expressive energy. Its entire life is spent reaching for the sky, absorbing sunlight, and converting that light into its red color, its juicy flesh, and its complex, beautiful flavor. The tomato is the culmination of a long, warm summer. Its nature is one of ripeness, of fullness, of a life lived out in the open, under the generous gaze of the sun. This is its spirit. When we bring a perfectly ripened tomato into our homes, it is still alive. It is still carrying the memory of the sun within it. The ripening process has not truly stopped. It is a continuum of maturation. It desires warmth. It thrives in the air of a room, on a countertop, where it can continue its slow, graceful journey. This is where its flavors deepen, its textures soften, and its full character emerges. To eat a room temperature, sun-kissed tomato is to taste the essence of summer itself. It is a joyful and life-affirming energy that we take into our bodies. Then we introduce the refrigerator. The cold, lifeless air of this machine is the antithesis of everything the tomato represents. The moment we place it in this environment, the active living processes within it are violently halted. The cold damages the delicate membranes inside the fruit's walls, changing its texture from firm and juicy to mealy and dull. More importantly, the chemical processes that create its flavor, its very soul, are shut down permanently. They do not restart even if you bring the tomato back to room temperature. The cold has extinguished its inner light. We think we are extending its life, but we are merely preserving a corpse. We are holding onto the physical form while allowing its spirit to escape. When we eat this refrigerated tomato, we are not consuming the vibrant, sun-filled energy it was meant to give us. We are consuming a ghost. The nourishment is muted, the taste is a pale imitation, and the energy it provides is flat and empty. This is not about a chemical that causes a specific illness. This is about a much deeper principle of nourishment. Are we feeding ourselves with life, or are we feeding ourselves with things that only resemble life? By trying to cling to the tomato's physical form, we sacrifice its essence, and in doing so, we rob ourselves of the true gift it was meant to offer. Pungent layers. Let us examine the onion and its close relative, the garlic. These are fascinating beings. They grow underground like the potato, but their energy is vastly different. They are not about dense storage, but about sharp, pungent, protective power. An onion is a collection of layers, a fortress. Each layer protects the one beneath it. Its energy is fiery, sharp, and purifying. For millennia, cultures have recognized this. They have used these plants not just for flavor, but as medicine to cleanse the body, to ward off sickness. Their potent aroma is a sign of their active, volatile, and powerful nature. They require very little to maintain this power. They ask only for a space that is dark, dry, and allows air to move around them. A simple basket in a pantry, a braid hanging from a hook. In this state, they are dormant but alive. Their papery skin is their perfect shield, regulating their moisture and protecting the potent energy stored within their layers. They can remain in this state of readiness for a very long time, holding their inner fire, waiting to be used. This is the condition of harmony for an onion or a head of garlic. The refrigerator, however, introduces an element that is their enemy: moisture. The cold, damp air of the refrigerator is a betrayal of their nature. They are designed to be dry. When surrounded by this humidity, their defenses are compromised. The moisture seeps past their papery skin and begins to rot them from the inside out. They become soft, mushy, and mold begins to grow between their layers. We cannot see it at first. From the outside, the onion may look firm, but within, a process of decay, of putrefaction has begun. We are in effect inviting a form of corruption into our food. When we then cut into this onion, we may cut away the visibly spoiled parts, but the entire organism has been compromised. Its energy is no longer pure and fiery. It is the energy of decay. When we consume this, even in small amounts, we are introducing that same decaying, mold-fostering energy into our own internal environment. Our gut, our internal ecosystem, is a delicate balance of life. Introducing food that has begun to spoil, that is cultivating mold and rot, disrupts this delicate balance. It feeds the very organisms we wish to keep in check and weakens the beneficial ones. We do this not with malice, but with a simple lack of understanding, believing that cold is always synonymous with preservation. For some forms of life, it is the beginning of decay. Golden nectar. Consider the nature of honey. It is one of the most remarkable substances in the natural world. It is not truly a plant, nor is it an animal. It is the result of a sacred collaboration. It is the lifeblood of flowers, gathered by bees, transformed within their bodies, and stored as a perfect, incorruptible food source. It is sunlight, nectar, and life force, all concentrated into a golden liquid. For thousands of years, humanity has revered honey not just as a sweetener, but as a potent medicine, a substance of immense healing power. It has natural antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. It is, in its pure state, almost eternal. Pots of honey, still perfectly edible, have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs thousands of years old. Honey's perfection lies in its natural state. It requires no assistance from us. It asks for nothing but to be kept in a sealed container at a stable room temperature. In this state, it remains a liquid, a viscous, flowing representation of life's sweetness and resilience. It is a testament to nature's ability to create something that is perfectly preserved in and of itself. Its own composition is its shield against decay. It needs no cold, no special environment. It is already complete. So what happens when we place this perfect substance into the cold, artificial environment of the refrigerator? The cold does not spoil it in the traditional sense. Honey is too powerful for that. But the cold does attack its form, its very essence. The cold accelerates a process called crystallization. The natural sugars within the honey begin to bind together, to solidify, turning the beautiful flowing liquid into a hard, grainy, almost solid mass. It becomes difficult to use, difficult to access. Its texture, its fundamental quality is ruined. We think we are keeping it safe, but we are damaging its structure. But the lesson here is deeper than the inconvenience of a hardened jar. It is a lesson in trust. Why do we feel the need to protect something that is already perfect, something that is inherently self-preserving? It comes from a mindset of intervention, a belief that our technology can improve upon nature. In the case of honey, this is an act of arrogance. We take something eternal and through our misunderstanding, we damage it, we diminish its quality. The act of refrigerating honey is a symbol of our lack of faith in natural processes. It teaches us a powerful lesson. True wisdom often lies not in what we do, but in what we choose not to do. It lies in recognizing perfection and having the grace to simply leave it alone. Living grain? Let us now speak of bread. In its truest form, bread is a simple, living thing. It is flour, water, salt, and a culture of yeast or sourdough, a colony of living organisms. It is the staff of life, a fundamental source of sustenance for countless civilizations. When a loaf of bread comes out of the oven, it is warm, fragrant, and full of life. It has a crisp crust and a soft, moist interior. This is its peak state, the moment of its greatest expression. For the first day or two, its life continues. The moisture within it remains balanced, and its texture is a joy. The process of bread becoming stale is a natural and graceful one. It is not decay, but a transformation. The moisture within the crumb slowly migrates outwards towards the crust. The bread becomes drier, firmer. This is a natural aging process. Stale bread is not bad bread. It is simply bread in a different phase of its life. It can be used to make other wonderful things. Croutons, breadcrumbs, puddings. It is a cycle. We honor the bread by using it completely through all its phases. The refrigerator once again interrupts this natural cycle with violence. We place the bread inside thinking we are preserving its freshness. What we are actually doing is accelerating the process of it becoming stale at a tremendous rate. The cold, dry environment of the refrigerator acts like a sponge, pulling the moisture out of the bread's crumb much faster than would ever happen at room temperature. The starches within the bread recrystallize, and the loaf becomes hard, dry, and tough. It loses its softness, its character, its life. We have not prevented it from going stale. We have made it stale, and we have done so in the worst possible way. We have created a product that is neither fresh nor gracefully aged. It is simply ruined. It has lost its pleasant texture and its flavor. This action comes from a fear of loss, a fear of the natural process of aging. We want to freeze a perfect moment in time. But life is not a static moment. It is a flowing process. By trying to halt the process, we destroy the very qualities we wish to preserve. The lesson of bread is to accept the flow of things, to appreciate each stage of life for what it is, and to find value not in preservation at all costs, but in mindful and creative use throughout the entire cycle. Do not fight the nature of things. Work with it. Aromatic essence. Finally, let us consider coffee, whether as a whole bean or ground. Coffee is a substance of extraordinary aromatic complexity. It is a seed that has been roasted, a process that awakens hundreds of volatile compounds that create its incredible fragrance and deep flavor. These compounds are the soul of the coffee. They are delicate, sensitive, and eager to escape. The moment coffee is roasted, it begins a slow process of releasing its essence into the air. This is why freshly ground coffee is so intoxicating. It is the moment of maximum life, maximum expression. The goal of storing coffee is to slow down this release, to protect these volatile oils and compounds for as long as possible. The primary enemies of coffee are oxygen, light, heat, and moisture. A simple airtight container kept in a cool, dark cupboard is the ideal home for coffee beans. This environment protects them from their enemies, allowing them to hold onto their soul, their aromatic essence, for a respectable amount of time. It is a simple and effective way to honor the bean. The refrigerator, which many people believe is a good place for coffee, is in fact one of the worst. It introduces the one enemy that is perhaps most insidious: moisture and condensation. Coffee beans are porous and dry, and they are hygroscopic, which means they readily absorb moisture and odors from the air around them. The refrigerator is a high humidity environment full of the smells of other foods. When you place coffee in this space, it acts like a sponge. It soaks up the moisture, which dulls its flavor and damages the precious oils. It also soaks up the aromas of last night's dinner, of the cheese, of the vegetables. It becomes contaminated. Furthermore, every time you take the container out of the cold refrigerator and into the warmer air of your kitchen, condensation immediately forms on the beans. This repeated cycle of moisture exposure rapidly degrades the coffee, destroying its delicate flavors and replacing them with a dull, generic, and sometimes rancid taste. You have taken something with a distinct and beautiful character, and you have made it common. You have silenced its voice. The lesson here is one of purity. To truly experience something, we must protect it from contamination. We must give it a clean, stable space to exist, free from the conflicting energies of other things. This applies not only to coffee, but to our own minds as well. To maintain our own clarity, we must be mindful of the environments we place ourselves in. Body's temple. We have spoken of simple things: a potato, a tomato, a piece of bread. Yet, in understanding their nature, we understand a principle that extends to all of life. The refrigerator is not the enemy. Technology is not the enemy. Our own lack of awareness is the only true source of disharmony. We have been conditioned to believe that one solution, aggressive cold, can be applied universally, without thought for the individual nature of the thing we are trying to preserve. This is a mindset of force, not a mindset of wisdom. It is a reflection of how we often treat our own bodies, our own minds, applying harsh one-size-fits-all solutions without listening to their true needs. The true source of health is not found in a list of forbidden foods, but in the cultivation of awareness. It is found in the simple, quiet act of asking, what is the nature of this thing I am about to consume? Where did it come from? What does it need? How can I honor its life as I take it into my own? This is not a diet, this is a practice of seeing the world not as a collection of inert objects for our use, but as a web of living energies with which we can choose to live in harmony or in conflict. The body is a temple, yes, but it is a temple built from the materials we provide it every single day. When we consume food that is stressed, that is energetically compromised, that is in a state of decay or confusion, we are building our temple with faulty materials. We are introducing a vibration of conflict into our very cells. And over a lifetime, this subtle daily conflict can manifest as the profound imbalances we call disease. The choice is not about fearing cancer. It is about choosing to cultivate harmony. It begins with the simple act of moving your potatoes to a dark pantry or leaving your tomatoes on the counter. It begins with the decision to see the world and your food with new eyes. This journey is not about restriction, it is about connection. By understanding the needs of the life that sustains you, you deepen the understanding of your own. You learn to listen to the subtle signals of your body and of the world around you. This is the path of self-mastery. It does not require a mountain or a monastery. It can begin right here in your own kitchen with a simple act of mindful intention. In learning to care for your food correctly, you are learning to care for yourself in the most fundamental way possible. For years, I've been putting my tomatoes and potatoes in the fridge, thinking I was doing the right thing. After watching this, I went to my kitchen and looked at my refrigerator, not as a convenience, but as a place of profound energy. I took the tomatoes out and put them in a bowl on the counter. It felt like I was letting them breathe for the first time. This isn't just about food, it's about changing your entire perception of the little things we do every day. Thank you for this clarity. I feel like I've woken up from a long sleep.